In 2018, Donald Trump, who was at that time president of the United States, was so upset about my jokes. The report says at least 2 calls were made from the Trump White House to, quote, convey the president's anger regarding Kimmel's monologues and jabs. In other words, President Karen demanded to speak to my manager. He directed his staffers at the White House to call Disney to tell them to rein me in.
Can we talk about how insane this is? The actual president of the United States got so butthurt over some jokes on TV that he had his White House staff call Disney, not the Pentagon, not Congress, Disney, the same place that gave us talking lions and Elsa singing on a mountain. This man got roasted in a monologue and said, "Get me Mickey Mouse on the line now." You can't make this up. The report says there were at least 2 calls made from the White House to convey the president's anger. Translation: tell them to shut that late night clown up before I tweet myself into cardiac arrest. This wasn't some troll in the YouTube comments. This was the leader of the free world demanding to speak to the manager like a political Karen with nuclear codes. And let's be real, this wasn't about policy or national security or anything that actually matters. This was pure ego damage control. Trump was mad because someone made fun of his hair, his spray tan, and whatever else he's got hiding under that suit, and he couldn't handle it. So instead of clapping back with wit or ignoring it like a grown adult, he went full, "Excuse me, sir, this is unacceptable," on Disney executives. And the irony, he only made it worse. He took a few jokes that would have been forgotten the next day and turned them into national headlines. Congrats, Mr. President. You played yourself. Seriously, imagine being that thin-skinned and that powerful at the same time. That's not leadership. That's emotional damage with a title. But hey, it gets dumber from here. Stick around.
He's a blowhard and a snowflake. He's a blowflake is what he is. He should change the hats to say, "Make America Wine Again," Mawa. We have a First Amendment right that Americans a hell of a lot braver than Donald Trump died for, and it's especially hypocritical. But if I point out that he's so fat they renamed the plane Air Force Wonder Bread, I'm the bad guy all of a sudden? Donald and Melania sleep in separate bedrooms. She was laughing too hard at my monologue at night.
Oh man, this is where it starts to sting. Kimmel didn't just go after Trump's ego, he aimed straight for the soft spots. And let's be honest, when you joke that Trump's so big they renamed the presidential plane Air Force Wonder Bread, you know somebody's screaming into a pillow somewhere in Mar-a-Lago, and then, boom. The Melania line, that she sleeps in a different room because she's laughing too hard at Kimmel's monologue. That's not just a punchline, that's a fatality. Forget the Secret Service. Trump needed emotional security after that one. But here's the thing, Trump's whole brand is about being the tough guy, right? The unshakable, never back down alpha. But the moment someone cracks a fat joke or hints that maybe Melania isn't exactly swooning over him every night, suddenly he's more fragile than his Twitter login. And let's not skip over the massive hypocrisy here. He spent years mocking people, calling opponents ugly, saying veterans are losers, imitating disabled reporters like it's open mic night at a cruelty convention. But the second someone turns the spotlight on him, he's clutching his pearls and dialing customer support. Oh no, someone made fun of me on TV. Quick, destroy them with presidential power. It's like a playground bully who starts crying the second he gets hit back. You can dish it out but can't take it? That's not strength. That's weakness with a loudspeaker. And the worst part, the public ate it up. Kimmel didn't just throw shade, he launched a solar eclipse. The audience was rolling, Twitter was on fire. Trump probably lost a full night of sleep, and not just because of the snoring. By the time the segment was over, it wasn't just about Trump's weight or marriage. It was about the fact that this man cannot stand being laughed at. He can insult whole groups of people, but heaven forbid someone calls him a loaf of bread in a business suit. So what does he do next? Not take it on the chin, not joke back, not ignore it like a normal celebrity. Nope, he spins out even harder, and trust me, it gets way weirder.
Santa Claus got up bright and early to post 165 venomous words about yours truly. And I'd like to go through that with you. Today he had a day off, and how did he spend that? Brunch with Melania? No. Maybe a catch with Barron in the yard? No. Who still hasn't recovered from his horrendous performance and big ratings drop as host of the Academy Awards. Oh, that's weird, because I read in the news that the ratings went up this year.
Okay, so get this. Trump had a day off. No rallies, no press conferences, no golf swings being analyzed in slow motion. And how does he spend it? Not brunching with Melania, not tossing a football with Barron. Nope. He spends it doing what he does best. Hate tweeting a comedian into oblivion. 165 words, one post, all venom, zero chill. That's not a clapback. That's a nuclear meltdown in paragraph form. You'd think he just found out Jimmy Kimmel ran over his dog the way he reacted. But here's the kicker. In the same breath, Trump tried to clown Kimmel for having bad ratings at the Oscars. Except, oops, the ratings went up. He got caught lying in real time. Like a kid insisting they didn't eat the cookie with chocolate all over their face. It's embarrassing, man. The former leader of the free world reduced to shouting into his phone at 8 a.m. because someone said something mean about him on TV the night before. If that's not a midlife crisis with a spray tan, I don't know what is. And let's not forget, this isn't a random Twitter troll with 12 followers. This is a guy who had the nuclear codes. And he's out here typing essays about Jimmy freaking Kimmel. Priorities? Never heard of him. This tells you everything you need to know. Trump doesn't care about optics. He doesn't care about looking presidential. He cares about winning petty arguments, especially when the internet's watching. And the best part, every time he rants like this, it's like Kimmel wins twice. First with the joke, then with the rage boost. It's like tossing bait into a pond and watching the biggest fish jump out, teeth first. So yeah, while regular people were sipping coffee and walking their dogs, Trump was somewhere pacing his golden living room, composing a furious tweet like it was the Gettysburg Address. And what did it accomplish? Nothing, except proving exactly what Kimmel was saying all along, that this guy has the emotional control of a toddler with Wi-Fi. And trust me, it's only gonna spiral from here.
I made fun of OJ 1,000 times. He hasn't tried to kill me once. The only two who tried to stop me are Donald Trump and Marjorie Taylor Greene, who actually called the cops on me. All he does is he makes fun of disabled journalists. He calls our veterans prisoners of war, even losers. He insults his opponents, his friends.
And now, this thing goes full clown show. So after the tweets, after the tantrums, after the pity party in the presidential panic room, Trump still wasn't satisfied. No, he needed backup. Enter Marjorie Taylor Greene, the sidekick no one asked for, with all the subtlety of a foghorn in a library. And what do? They actually tried to get the police involved over jokes. I repeat, they called the cops because a late night host made fun of them. That's not leadership, and that's a cartoon villain origin story. I mean, come on. You spend years calling people names, mocking disabled reporters, labeling war heroes as losers, and when someone clowns you back, you're on the phone with 911 like, hello, yes, I'd like to report a felony roast. This isn't just hypocrisy, it's peak snowflake behavior. The same people yelling free speech as every 5 seconds suddenly want to arrest someone for having a punchline. Like, what are the charges? Assault with a deadly mic? Possession of satire with intent to distribute? Please, let's be honest. This wasn't about justice. It was about control. They couldn't handle the embarrassment, so they tried to weaponize law enforcement to silence it. That's not patriotism. That's insecurity with a badge. And the wildest part, they didn't even realize how pathetic it looked. Imagine being so soft, so wildly out of touch that your response to a late night joke isn't a counterpunch. It's a police report. It's like calling the SWAT team because someone made fun of your haircut. It's unbelievably childish, and yet, here we are, in the part of the movie where the main character just starts spiraling. And the more they try to fight comedy with force, the funnier it all gets. Because nothing makes a joke land harder than a powerful person completely losing it over it. At this point, Kimmel could just walk on stage, say Trump, and the FBI would kick down his dressing room door. That's how unhinged it's become. So yeah, while the rest of us were laughing, Trump and MTG were writing up a police report on stand-up comedy, and somehow they still think they're the ones being silenced. Spoiler alert, they're not. They're just losing the one fight they can't buy their way out of, the fight against the punchline.
Kamala supports states being able to take minor children and perform sex change operation, take them away from their parents, perform sex change operation, and send them back home.
Not Jimmy anymore, it's Tamara, but I will.
Jimmy, I love you so much. Go have a good day in school.
I'm going to be using that clip a lot. Trump's also been floating a new policy idea, finally. He says he wants to modify the 25th Amendment so you can remove the vice president if the vice president covers up the fact that the president is incapacitated.
Okay, deep breath, because this is where the crazy train hits warp speed. So after getting roasted on late night TV and rage posting like a teen with a breakup playlist, Trump goes off on this unhinged rant about Jimmy Kimmel supposedly supporting, wait for it, kidnapping children for gender transitions. Yeah, that's where we are now. It's like the man can't tell the difference between a joke and a conspiracy theory meme, and somewhere in between accusing Jimmy of running a human trafficking operation from behind a desk. He drops a completely made up policy idea about changing the Constitution. Yep, just casually floats the idea of modifying the 25th Amendment, you know, the one about removing the president if they're unfit, to now include removing the vice president too, because that makes total sense. Dude, what? At this point, he's just inventing laws like it's a Monopoly game. If the VP covers for the president, boom, you're out. Also, free parking gives you $500 now. You can't make this stuff up, but he can, and he does. Regular people go to therapy. Trump rewrites the Constitution on social media when he's mad. And that part about Jimmy Kimmel being called Tamaro now? What does that even mean? Is he trying to invent his own insult? It's like watching someone throw alphabet soup at a wall and call it policy. This isn't political strategy. It's a meltdown in real time, dressed up as a press release. He's not even trying to hide how personal this is anymore. He's not tweeting like a former president. He's tweeting like a guy who just got owned in a group chat and can't let it go. And the scary part, people actually take it seriously. They see this guy spit out word salad and go, yeah, he's speaking truth. No, he's speaking gibberish with rage emojis. But this is the playbook, right? When he gets hit, he doesn't hit back with facts or humor. He just ramps up the crazy, hoping something sticks. If he can't win the argument, he tries to rewrite the rules. Literally. It's not just embarrassing anymore, it's dangerously dumb. The kind of dumb that makes you check twice if it's satire or real life. And unfortunately with Trump, it's usually both. And if you thought that was the end of it, buckle up, because next he tries to turn jokes into crimes. Yep, literal jail time for comedians. Ready? Let's finish this strong.
Rolling Stone published a story today. The topic was what could happen if Trump wins. Trump briefly attempted to get justice officials to twist campaign finance laws and the federal equal time rule to declare that anti-Trump material broadcast by Saturday Night Live, Jimmy Kimmel, Stephen Colbert, and others was somehow illegal for giving illegal campaign contributions to the Democratic Party in the form of jokes and on-air satire. During his 2024 campaign, which is now, according to a source with direct knowledge, Trump's raised the topic again, venting about the need to punish late-night comedians. He wants to lock up the late-night hosts. And what happened to this, by the way?
Jimmy, I love you so much.
So let me get this straight. Trump is now claiming that jokes, yes, actual comedy, are somehow illegal campaign donations to the Democratic Party. I'm sorry, what? Someone needs to remind this man that a punchline is not a political contribution. If it were, Dave Chappelle would be running the DNC and every SNL writer would be in the Senate by now. But nope. In Trump's world, if you get roasted on national TV, that's not comedy. That's election interference. He actually wanted the Justice Department to step in. You heard that right. The same department that handles terrorism, corruption, cybercrime. And now, apparently, Jimmy Kimmel's monologue. And it gets worse. According to Rolling Stone, he brought this idea back during his 2024 campaign. That's right, not just a one-time tantrum. He's still pushing the idea of punishing comedians for doing comedy. He wants to jail late-night hosts, literally lock them up because they made fun of him. Imagine watching a Kimmel segment, laughing at a joke, and then boom, you're in federal court because the orange man's feelings got hurt again. This isn't just insecure, it's authoritarian light with a side of delusion. If making jokes about politicians is illegal, then every stand-up comic from New York to LA is about to be on a most wanted poster. But here's what Trump doesn't get, or maybe he does, and that's why he's so angry. Comedy is powerful. Satire exposes people in ways that news headlines can't. It hits egos. It gets people laughing and thinking. And for someone obsessed with control, that's terrifying. This whole campaign to muzzle comedians is just Trump admitting he's losing the cultural war, because when you have to legislate laughter, it means people aren't laughing with you anymore. They're laughing at you. And the more he tweets, the more interviews he gives, the more paranoid he sounds. It all just feeds feeds the same fire he's trying to put out. He's turning late night hosts into folk heroes without even realizing it, so here we are. The former president of the United States trying to outlaw comedy, rewrite the Constitution, and cancel anyone who clowns on him, all because he can't handle a joke. Honestly, that's not presidential, that's just sad. But hey, at least we got some solid material out of it. And if he's watching, Mr. Trump, don't worry, the jokes will keep coming, whether you like it or not.